It's a damn good thing we don't have a lot of like mafia or mobs around here where we live, because I feel like he'd piss someone off and you get that, hey look, that looks like me.
She'd be like, I woke up and there was a horse head in my bed this morning.
Yeah,
It's fucking
so
hilarious.
weird. I don't know where it came from.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Words of Our Heart show, the show where we talk about things where we don't have a whole lot of things, so not randomizer today. Did you guys hear about Kathy Griffin? That shit was crazy.
Who's Kathy Griffin?
So I honestly have no clue who Kathy Griffin is. I mean, I may have seen her face plastered in a few places before this whole situation happened. But like, what is she known for?
Hasn't she been in some sitcoms?
She's barely a comedian. She had a reality show where she called My Life on the D-List at one point, because she considered herself a D-list celebrity.
That's fitting.
And wanted to become a bigger celebrity, so that was something that she worked on. Anyway, so basically she was just sort of this television personality comedian with a super annoying voice.
Oh, so like anyone on The View?
I'm 90% sure she's been on The View multiple times.
I'm just looking to see something that she's been in.
Something noteworthy. IMDb it or something. She was probably an extra on Seinfeld at some point. Anyway, oh, come on. Bryan Cranston was an extra on Seinfeld.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like.
But he's
Seinfeld
not an annoying
because-
little cunt.
She's been in a lot of sitcoms.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Suddenly Susan is apparently one of the ones that she's best known for.
She's very, like...
She was in Pulp Fiction.
Who'd she play in Pulp Fiction?
Hit and Run Witness.
Oh my god, she was an extra in Pulp Fiction.
She was an extra in
It was
Pulp
an
Fiction.
amazing movie. Probably because she had no lines.
She was in Muppets from Space.
Of course, yeah.
Female Armed Guard. She's had some very, very deep roles.
Apparently, yeah.
She was
So
prepared. So anyway, so basically, she recently did this photo shoot where she held up a bloody, severed, Trump-esque resembled head.
okay. So it's not just like a political statement. It's just so. I'm assuming that people freaked out about it.
Well, I mean, that's like...
A lot of people are losing their shit over
It's
it.
like, I mean, I saw the apology video that she put out that we
Yeah.
can get to in here in a bit, but like,
Well, I mean, she put out...
Um,
Somebody was filming, like, behind the scenes afterwards when they were looking at the photos and looking at the end result that she was looking at with the videographer or whatever, whoever was doing it. And she made the comment, she's like, we're going to have to, like... We're going to have to go to Mexico. And they're like, what? And she's like, we're going to have to, like, take off. We're going to have to leave.
yeah, pretty much.
So, and like, part of me is like, haha, she was kidding. But, like, there was so much sincerity in her voice.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, I guess, because like for the
I just figured out where you'd know her from. She was a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cover girl. Turn to the left.
So-
Girl, turn to the right.
so like, in the video that I saw of her apologizing, I mean, I just saw a short clip, but she knew that she fucked up. She knew that it was basically it was going to end her career or at least stifle it more than it already was. And
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd have to
She-
consider her having a career in the first
she didn't
place.
sound sincere at all.
I-
She's just like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Please still love me and give me money."
That's Kathy Griffin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's exactly.
That's about as sincere as she's gonna get.
yeah. So
The thing is that I don't think it's gonna end her career.
no.
because it didn't
'Cause-
exist to begin
well,
with.
Well, no, not that. She obviously had a career in television. She's obviously made a life on there. She's much more well off than any of us are in our respective careers.
Sure.
So she had a career to begin with, but she's kind of fallen off. Not a lot of people know who she. You didn't even know who she was, but guess what? You know who she is now. So that's the thing. She's got people talking about her, and that's.
But that's the problem. The people that didn't know who she was before, like Alex, now he only knows her as, she's that crazy bitch that held the severed president's head up on TV.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are gonna rally behind her for that. Fucking Jim Carrey just came out publicly and defended her on that.
Well, I mean,
That
of course,
wouldn't
Jim,
really
of
be
course
something
Jim
to
Carrey
brag
would.
about nowadays.
Well, I mean, he's on
Jim
trial
Carrey's
now,
a fucking
right?
legend.
He's going on trial now because apparently there's enough evidence to potentially convict him of giving his dead girlfriend drugs that she killed herself with.
Man, I love Jim
fun fact.
Carrey.
Yeah, I mean, that's a guy who sounded extremely sincere when his girlfriend or when his fiance died.
I didn't even know about that news. I don't follow a lot of celebrity
So
news,
basically, yeah, his
this Kathy Griffin thing's been thrown in my face. But he defended her in the sense that he was saying she's a comedian.
Yeah.
And
She's trying to get
good or bad comedians are meant to point a spotlight on certain issues and make you think in a way that you didn't, type of thing, and make statements in that sense. And I get what he's trying to say there. My only issue is that he knows, she knows, everybody involved knows that it doesn't matter who the president is. I don't like him. I don't agree with him. But you don't come out and publicly threaten the president. And I was equally as upset with her as I was when Ted Nugent talked about shooting Obama when he was first elected.
Which a lot of people are throwing that back at Trump right now, stating, oh, you're throwing a big fit about her with the severed head.
Yeah.
Yet you invited Nugent into your office and met with him and buddied with him, and he threatened the guy before you.
Yeah, and I feel like they should be treated on the same field. I have less respect for both of them for it, because you remember what I said the last time we talked about Trump? Was like
I try to forget everything about Trump that I can.
You don't get on a plane and hope that the pilot fails.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, exactly. Now, you mentioned something, though. She didn't threaten him, though. She just took a picture. She didn't make a threat, though.
So if somebody sent you a picture of them holding a bloody head that looked like yours,
you wouldn't take that as a threat?
You wouldn't take that as a threat?
No,
You'd be fucking stupid not to.
I mean, it would depend on who the person
is. It's a damn good thing we don't have a lot of like mafia or mobs around here where we live, because I feel like he'd piss someone off and he'd get that, hey, look, that looks like me.
You'd be like, I woke up and there was a horse head in my bed this morning.
Yeah,
That's fucking
so
hilarious.
Weird. I don't know where it came from.
I mean,
but I mean, like it can be taken as a threat.
I would be offended by
was there something
that take it as a threat.
Was there something that led up to that, though, as far as
she's always been a very left liberalist sort of.
Yeah, but
she's been very outspoken.
Didn't Trump say something that led to this? I feel like
every time he opens his mouth, he says something that leads to something.
I'm not sure.
I think there was something that was mentioned.
He might have insulted her comedy or something.
I think it was like there was something explicitly that he said about holding. It may have actually been like holding a bloody head of some sort, or putting someone's head on a spike. For one reason or another, I think that's why she did it.
Well, there was I don't know if you guys heard that when Trump was presented with some sort of like honorary like memorial like sword or something.
Sure.
That members of the not the army, the military, maybe the Navy or something presented to him, and he was presented with this sword thing, and he went to go sit down, and he still had like a live mic on, and his vice president or somebody who works directly with him leaned over and he goes, "You're gonna stab the media with that?" And Trump was like, "Yeah, I get."
I didn't hear about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
"You gonna stab the media with that, sir?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna."
sir.
See, I'm not offended by that. I find that funny.
I find it funny how stupid he is, because you don't sit in a position like that and say shit like that. But
you also don't tweet about coffee.
What is that about? Okay, let's sidetrack, because I need to know
we can just make this about Trump's news in general.
He made a post about something, and he was saying something about the media and
all his haters,
and he made a really hard, stupid spelling mistake, and everybody is just like trying to create dumb conspiracy theories around it.
What was he supposed to be spelling?
I don't know.
We don't know. And it could just be that, like, maybe he was... And it was... The whole hubbub about it is because it came out at, like, 12:30 a.m. his time. Like, it would be in the middle of the night.
He's, like, drunk as fuck, right?
So everybody's making a big joke about how he was probably drunk when he...
Yeah.
Coffee.
But Greg can read it for you. He can find it and read it. But, I mean, like... I don't know. You just like, I get taking a stance against the president and stuff, but, I mean, you don't...
The tweet was, despite the constant negative press, Kavfefe. So now that I'm looking at this, it's obvious he was starting to write about the negative coverage, is what I'm thinking.
But it looks like he ended it early. I wonder if, like, he was, like, typing whatever, and then somebody burst into his office or something, and he just hit post.
Well, what I'm thinking more than likely happened, he was about to say something stupid, and somebody said, "Don't tweet that." So he starts trying to back it off to delete it, and then screws up the word coverage, and then accidentally
They're like,
posts
give
the tweet
me
instead.
your phone, and then
Yeah, that's what happened. Give me that. And he post.
or assuming that his wife still touches him in any single sense of the word. No,
But yeah,
No.
they were
he was
making
getting a sweet presidential beach.
they were making a big
And
deal
because
about
it's
it
Trump,
because
he never stops tweeting. And he's tweeting halfway through, and he came when he tried to write that.
Actually, there's a GIF recently of where he's trying to like grab his wife's hand, and she like slaps him.
yes, I saw that.
He's
Yeah,
like,
she
it's
slaps
like
it away.
he's like, come on, like just
And she
one
rejected
swift
him.
movement.
Well, there was also the time when they were doing whatever national anthem, I think, and they were standing there, and literally all the generals around him and stuff, they had their hand over their heart, and so did she, and she was and he was just standing there like this, and she's like, and then
Actually, there's another one where like
she's like really aggressive with him sometimes.
he
I
was
feel
doing
like she has to be though.
he was doing like his speech like at his inauguration, and he like looks at her, she smiles, and then he turns back around, and she immediately goes like blank face, like no emotion, like that woman is just she's just there for the money at this point.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
She looks like she's at the point where she's starting to question whether the money's worth it anymore or not.
absolutely.
But I
Yeah.
mean, there was that also when he was meeting the new French Prime Minister of France.
Oh,
did you
yeah.
see that?
Yeah, he
And
was like,
and he went up chivalry is still a very prevalent thing in French culture.
absolutely.
So when he walked up and he started acknowledging the women first, and then when other men started to interject, obviously like somebody shoving their hand in front of your face, you're gonna shake their hand and stuff. So he didn't get to Trump until like probably the fourth or fifth person. And when he finally did, Trump gave the world's most aggressive handshake.
And
Buddy rejected it so hard.
that's the
I
thing
never
though.
saw that.
He gives these really
Yeah.
these really aggressive. The only person that's been able to stand up to it was Justin Trudeau.
Was Trudeau.
our Prime
Well, no,
Minister.
the French
I guess
Prime
the-
Minister, just who's even younger than the both of them.
Yeah.
But Trump held his hand out like this, and when he went to go grab it, he went to go reach his arm and pull him in, and he reached forward with his other hand and started like hitting him on the arm. He was just like, not happening. There was no like shaking motion.
No.
There was just
Exactly.
like
Let's think with Trudeau and Trump, they were sitting in the Oval Office, and Trump goes for the handshake, and Trudeau extends it out and pulls in himself, like to
Yeah.
kind of go more aggressive, and it counted out kind of thing, right? It was like
and Trump's
perfect.
like, I'm gonna pull out of the softwood lumber.
Yeah, so I mean, like Trump's like he's just such a douchebag, such a douchebag.
He was like, no,
He
you
was
true-
oversized fucking
no,
suit.
you true
Fuck that.
don't. And then he pulled him back.
American fit.
But I mean-
done with the puns.
No, we're never done with puns, dude.
So, yeah, no, just the whole. There's something else that Trump did, isn't there? I mean, he's done a lot of.
There's something else that he
Everything.
did.
No, that's it. That's
Well,
everything Trump's
Well,
ever
no,
done.
he just pulled out of the
Paris Climate
Agreement.
thing.
But I mean, like, yeah, I guess basically my point is that whether you agree with somebody or disagree with them, the way to sort of fight it and stand up against it is to get together and stand up and show, the power in numbers type of thing, but it's not to incite violence one way
Violence
or
is
another.
never the answer.
So I mean, like, I feel like she was frustrated, but took a very aggressive stance that she probably shouldn't have. I mean, you don't. It's in the same way that you don't go out and say you're upset because the police killed somebody, but you don't go out and say kill the police type of thing. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know. A lot of people do that.
Yeah, but that's what gets people in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't do shit like that. That's not. If you have to act in such a way that if everybody acted that way, the world would work perfectly. You know what I mean? You can't go around and acting in such a way that if everybody acted that way, everything would be fucked. And so because he's acting one way doesn't mean that you have to act that way. to get shit done.
It's like the whole fighting fire with fire thing.
But to that effect, how do you stop the tyranny that is Donald Trump?
Well, you
can't.
You continue to voice your opinion and protest within the law, and you continue to push your congresspersons for to vote one way or another, and for investigations, and eventually, if you feel like he's doing something that is legally wrong, not just morally wrong, you can call for impeachment at some point or another. I mean,
You just have to have enough people to agree with it.
It's a lot of work, but there's ways that you can work if you don't agree with your government.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
Instead of bitching or getting violent.
I
Or
suppose.
posing with severed heads.
I mean,
The thing is that unfortunately you just have to work with it and try to figure it out that way.
Yeah.
You can't.
It requires patience, which a lot of people don't
they
have.
seem to be failing pretty hard at that, though, right? Like
Everybody does.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is people get really passionate, and I get it. And the only reason why I can speak openly about it without getting upset is because I'm not that.
I was literally just about to say that's
Passionate
why you
about
need
it.
to be like me and not care about anything.
Well, I just don't care about fucking Trump or anything going on with him. Like, I know it affects us, but
I suppose. I mean,
doesn't bother me.
I'm just proud that Trudeau doesn't stand up to his shit, or just doesn't really give a shit.
See, but there's enough people out there that hate Trudeau just as much as people hate
Yeah.
Trump that it's...
We will never have a world leader where the country is unanimously behind him.
Not true.
Oh, well, why? Where?
If the
North
Rock,
Korea.
If the
North
Rock,
Korea, 100% of the people voted for.
if the Rock
Kim
runs
Jong-un.
for president and
Nobody
wins the
votes
election,
in
he
North
will be
Korea.
loved by everyone.
Nobody votes in North Korea, but
Yeah.
they all unanimously love him and worship him as a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the ones that don't leave the country, so they don't count anyway.
The ones that don't die,
That's what I said. They leave the country.
they leave existence.
they leave existence.
Yeah.
They just don't exist
They are
anymore.
tortured and killed.
That is.
It's the way it should be.
But I mean, like, if you think about it, if Trudeau went around and he ordered to kill everybody who didn't agree or didn't like him, then yeah, the whole country
sad
would be
part is
unanimously behind him.
If Trump had the power to do that, you know he would.
Absolutely.
Don't even think about it. You know he would do it.
Even a heartless idiot is not stupid enough to commit genocide.
But Trump is.
Yeah.
I think you're giving him too much credit.
I
don't think
we're
you're
giving
giving
him
him
enough
enough.
credit. No.
No, I
But
think
luckily, it's a moot point anyway because he doesn't have that kind of power.
True. I love how, like, the very first day of his presidency, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this." A week later, overturned. But I'm the president. Doesn't matter. We don't give a shit. Overturned, motherfucker.
But I'm a president, and he's like, I'm a judge, and he's like, I should have become a judge. I thought I could kick all the Muslims out, but apparently I have to be a judge to do that. Could you imagine?
He's suddenly going to announce, I am no longer going to be president. I'm going off to become a Supreme Court judge.
And then he goes, I'm going to kick all the Muslims out, and the other judges go, no, you're not. And he's like, what the fuck?
Fuck, I should have become
Thought
7
this
other
is how it
judges.
worked.
I should have become 7
other
people.
Yeah.
I should clone myself.
Oh, God, don't give him any ideas.
No, now this is starting to sound like... Do you guys remember how much everybody hated George Bush?
Yeah, and now everyone's like, man, I miss George
I
Bush.
miss Bush. Bush wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. I mean...
Well, I mean...
Even the people who think that he orchestrated 9/11 are like, well, I mean, he only killed a few thousand people. He wasn't a dick in his first month.
I mean, Bush only went at, only tried to go to war with the Muslims. He didn't try to, keep them out of the country.
Well,
Of course, I mean, an uneducated person would say.
the thing is that
Is that why you said it?
Yeah.
The weird part is that it takes Obama 8 years to try to clean things up and undo certain things, and it's going to take another 2-term president to clean up what's being changed now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's going to be like 16 years down the road after Trump gets reelected multiple
I mean,
times.
he's literally just he's like no health care, no environmental plan. He's taking everything away and saying that we're going to negotiate one that's better for America. And it's like, well, you got to stop taking things away. Just change them. Don't take them away.
Now,
change them. He's the kind of guy who, like, if he got a flat tire, he would buy a new car.
Well, I mean,
You just got to change the tire, and if the car sucks, work on it. You know what I mean? Like, you can make it.
What?
You can make
That's not
things
how
better.
I do it.
So there's one thing that Trump did say that and did that made sense actually, and that I'll agree with him on, which was he went to NATO basically. He's like, look, America has been funding your shit for too long. The rest of y'all have to pay up. America pays for 90% of the funding for NATO. You other countries who are part of this, should be paying for your protection, pay an equal share. And like the faces on the people that were of the other world leaders for NATO were like, oh shit, yeah, he's probably right.
I don't know about that. You got to pay relative to your input.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. They're not.
To your input and your worth. But I mean, like, when you're going to a third world country and saying you need to pay up for your protection, I mean, mafia-style tactics do not work in global politics.
No, like France. France only paid, like, a fraction of what they should have, right? Like, even relative to what America would have...
because France's economy is shit, despite what people think.
Same with Germany. And, well, I mean, Russia...
Germany is still paying back for World War II. The thing is that America's sitting there with, like, all this capital and all this world power, and they want to make a presence in every other country in the world, and then they're like, well, how come you guys aren't paying your share? And it's like, because you have 90% of all of this.
Yeah.
You fucking dick. That's like the guy who crashes on your couch and tells you you're not paying your half of rent.
Huh. I guess that makes sense. But not really.
Or he's sleeping on your couch and he's like, man, you don't even buy enough groceries for me. And you're like, why are you here?
That's what you say, please.
Why don't you go back to your own house and then we'll talk?
Please leave.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, need lessons learned from Trump?
He gives me a headache. That's my lesson learned.
Kathy fucking
Griffin
was right in her decision. Is my takeaway from that. Freedom of whatever, right?
My lesson learned is that freedom of speech is allowed until it imposes on somebody else's rights or freedoms. And regardless of if that's the shitty President Trump, there's still freedom of
he
safety.
still has rights.
So freedom of speech does not mean you can say what you want. Technically.
Well, let's not get into that.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching.